And
Yay.
we're live. Yeah.
Yay.
Hello. Yes. Hey, everybody. Anyone who tunes in now or later, I will just say thank you right away for tuning in. I'm super excited today to be joined by Min of Cloud and Victory.
Hi,
Who,
everybody.
welcome, Min. Thank you so much for joining me on
No,
the
it's a
live.
pleasure. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. I think it's the time difference. It's 9 p.m. over there, and nice and sunny 9 a.m. over
I
here.
know. It does look rather drab on my end. You've got some really good natural light going on.
That's also because I made sure to move into the light.
I think most of our viewers will know what Cloud and Victory is, as I said. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your story in dance?
Oh, sure. Well, I never danced as a kid. I will say that. I wanted to start ballet when I was a little girl, when you had saw your friends, talking about wearing tutus, and my mom was like, "No, you will get bored." So that never happened. Um, Fast forward many, many years later, I still wasn't doing dance, but I was in law school and I pushed myself too hard and I ended up with an eating disorder and depression. Took a
Mhm.
semester off. I was studying overseas, came back to my home country, Singapore, to get better and was trying to figure out how to, I guess, enjoy myself after uh, basically just spending my whole life, not my whole life, but like those few years living like a robot. And then a ballet school opened in a mall near my house. And I walked past and I told my mom, I've always wanted to do ballet. And so she was like, why don't you? So I went in and I signed up for an adult class. I actually paid for the whole semester and I was the very first student.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I went to the classes and I found ballet to be very helpful for my recovery process. When I went back to school, I was also still doing like once a week ballet, and I was like thinking, there's nothing on the market that I know of in terms of ballet clothing that was suitable for an adult. Like there were lots of
Hmm.
t-shirts, but they were like sparkly bun head in like neon prints, and I was like, no, I'm not 12. I'm not wearing this to ballet class. So I
Right.
started like designing my own clothing, and I thought other people would like them too. So I put them on the internet. And then when I graduated from law school, I was still too sick to actually do a full time job. So I said, I'm gonna try and just do this kind of vacation for like a couple of months while I get better and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't do things in half. So I was very full on about it and just kind of kept going. And yeah, so I'm still doing this and I'm still doing my ballet. And I think that is the nicest summary of my dance journey so far.
I love it. When did you start Cloud and Victory? How many years ago has it been?
Um, well, I started it part time in school, so I started doing it part time. I think it must be almost 6 years actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It doesn't feel that long, but it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you expect the response that you got from like professional dancers?
Oh no, like not at all. I'm not a professional dancer, and my
Right.
biggest um, I guess it still is a little bit, but my biggest insecurity was the fact that I may not relate to them in the because I don't have the same experiences as them or the same knowledge as them that it was that I wasn't maybe not being able to reflect the experience properly in my clothing. But then I kind of realized that a lot of things, whether you're an adult or whether you're uh, or a professional, a lot of the struggle is universal.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of crossover with the struggle.
yeah, but no, I definitely wasn't expecting it. I mean, Cloud and Victory wasn't something that blew up overnight with like a whole bunch of professionals being like, yeah, this is amazing. No,
Right.
I think it was like we were talking about like your business. It's just been really slow and steady
Yeah.
and just like hustle.
Yes, and consistency, right?
Yes,
True.
consistency is key.
Yeah, needed for dance as well. How do you feel
Yes.
like you've developed as an adult dancer?
Um, as in my, as in how it's helped me, or in terms of
Yeah,
like my dance.
let's do
Um,
both. I want to hear about both.
okay, well, in terms of my ballet, um, I can't be a very good dancer. I was in class a couple of weeks ago, and then we were doing warm-up sautés, and my teacher looked at my feet and she was like, "Your feet are turned in." So I can't say that my ballet has improved, but I hope my teachers will think otherwise.
Yeah,
But I do still go for classes and push myself.
good.
And yes, when I actually remember like the choreography and the combinations, I'm like, okay, that's progress.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, in terms of as a person, I think what it's really helped me with is dealing with my perfectionism
Hmm.
because uh, you know the thing about ballet, and I guess also the thing that I found it really helpful for my eating disorder, one of the things was that it's in class for like an hour and a half, and you're kind of having to deal with the fact that you're not perfect or not even close to perfect, and managing that and still trying to figure out how to have fun and enjoy it. So I think ballet's really helped me to try and not be too critical of myself, which definitely
Yeah.
isn't easy. Um, yeah, sometimes, interestingly, some of my ballet teachers would know me before they would come into class and recognize me as like the person who does Cardinal Victory. And they're professional dancers, so it was, like really stressful for me. Like, I run a dancewear company and I'm really not very good at ballet, and like this teacher is good, it knows that. And so I was like, oh, I hope you're not judging me. And then sort of having to learn to kind of let go of that, and like, people are not going to judge you.
Right.
Just sort of be more confident and secure yourself. You're here to learn and you're here to have fun and make
Right.
friends. And yeah.
Yeah. Have you made a lot of friends through dance?
Yeah, actually, through my ballet classes, I made a couple of good friends, and I kind of, through the magic of the internet, a lot of like I made friends with a lot of dancers who are
Right.
now my good friends. I was like joking the other day. I was like, "Thank you, internet, for 60% of my friends," because it's just easy to like message them and like Skype them and FaceTime them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the benefits of the whole internet taking over our lives situation. You
Yeah.
know, like we can make connections that before were much more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the nice thing about the internet is it's a good way to connect with people who have some common interests as you that you might not otherwise meet in real life,
Yeah.
and then develop friendships from there. So
Right.
yeah.
What do you think is one of the hardest things about starting ballet as an adult?
Um, I actually think that it's not. I don't think it's as that different. The struggle is not that different from what professional dancers go through, which is that for me the hardest thing is dealing with the fact that I kind of look like a hot mess all the time in my head.
Yeah.
It's that thing where you kind of look at yourself and you're like, this needs to be improved and that needs to improve, and I'm never going to be as good as like, oh, the professional dancers
Mm,
do it so well. Why do I just
yeah.
am not? Or even like the person next to me who seems to have more aptitude for it, or has danced since they were younger and they look so much better, and and I'm kind of like, everything's not working, and so
Yeah.
that for me has been like the hardest part to deal with. I wouldn't say I think I do have some struggles. Like when we do combinations in the center, I have a very bad habit of not looking at myself in the mirror
Mm,
because I just don't like to see it. I'm like, oh, all I see is like,
yeah.
that doesn't look good. And I'm really trying to work on that. I'm being like, if you don't look at yourself in the mirror, you're not going to be able to see what you need to fix.
Right.
And if you're always looking down, it's going to throw off your
Mm,
um, posture and your center. So it's like, you
that's
got to
true.
try and look at yourself sometimes. So yeah, I'm working on it. But yeah, I don't really think the struggle is, I think it's quite a similar struggle to what professional dancers go through, just in, I think, a lesser capacity because I'm not doing this professionally. So I can remind
Right.
myself that I'm here to have fun and learn. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which I
think
think you
it's
should do
really,
is,
go
sorry,
ahead.
which I said, I think you should do it even if you're professional anyway, because
Yes.
ballet is hard enough. We got to learn how to enjoy it, especially if it's your full-time job. But
Yeah.
yeah, you were saying?
No, I was just going to say, I think it's really incredible that dance helped you to overcome and recover from your eating disorder.
Right.
Where, you know, so often I encounter dancers who have gotten to a like borderline eating disordered place or just like a body image issue,
Yeah,
major body image issue places because of ballet. Do you
yeah,
have
and
any like thoughts or advice, you know, that you would bring to those people or that you would share?
um actually it's interesting because I have talked to my ballet dancer friends about this. As in like
Yeah,
there's so many dancers with even if not straight up eating disorders, they have disordered eating and
right.
a warped like body image just because of the demands, the aesthetic demands of ballet. Um, I'm sorry, what was your question again?
Just anything that you could think of uh, that you would say to like support those people, or like where you think the that you were able to find the positive part for yourself in
Right,
dance, you know, like that it got you away from an eating disorder.
right. I think for me, one of the biggest things was realizing that if I couldn't enjoy myself doing this if I didn't take care of my body, if I didn't nourish it properly. Because then at the beginning it was kind of a bit miserable because I would just be looking at the clock being like, I want this to be over because I'm so tired and I'm so hungry.
Mm,
And then yeah, sort of learning that if I don't take care of my body, I can't enjoy this. I'm not gonna even be good at it because like your brain is what 90, don't quote me on this, but I think your brain's like 90% fat. So,
yeah, it
you
is
know,
something like that.
you're
Yeah.
not even going to be able to learn mentally and remember combinations when you are completely malnourished. It's not going to help you in your career because you're not going to grow.
Right.
You can't process it. And of course, your body is weak. There's only so much, there's only so far adrenaline can take you. So,
Hmm.
if you want to progress, if you want to improve, if you want to progress, and the most important thing is if you want to enjoy what you're doing, not just in terms of ballet, but in terms of your life, you have to learn how to, you have to, I would say, you have to believe that you deserve to take care of yourself and nourish yourself. And yeah, even now, I do ballets and I do gymnastics, and they are really two of the things that help me to make sure that I'm stressed out and I'm not eating well and I feel the energy is low. I'm like, okay, I can feel it in class and I need to take care of myself because I came to this because I wanted to do something good for myself. And I need to keep making sure that it is something that's good for myself. And so
Yeah.
it forces me to take care of myself. Yeah.
I love that. It's wonderful, and it's so something, unfortunately, that I think it's like a wisdom thing a little bit, you know, like it comes with making that connection between like happiness and performance and like taking care of your body and knowing that food has to be part of that equation and um,
I remember
such an
when I
important
was I remember when I was started getting treatment for my eating disorder, and I would be so, and I think a lot of dancers can relate to this because my eating disorder was like a form of anorexia that I think people call orthorexia, where it's a very extreme predisposition to health. I'm sorry
mm,
to use air quotes, but anything taken to extreme is not healthy. And so I
agreed.
would ask her like, what is the nutrition value of this food and what is that and is that good for me? And then in Chinese, you know what baos are?
I don't think so.
They are like steamed buns with like stuffing. And one of
Okay.
the and one of the things I really like was like the steamed bun with like red bean paste stuffing. And I would
Mm.
like ask her like, what is the nutritional value of that? And then she was like, she looked at me and she's like, it gives you happiness. And I realized that yes, happiness is a really important, like it's a really, because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying your food, if you're not enjoying what you're doing in your life, is you could have everything you want. You could be like a principal dancer in a major company, but if you're just crying before you get on stage and you're miserable because whether it's because you have an eating problem or because you're depressed or just anything, then like what is the point? What's the point of
Yeah.
doing it if it's not making you fulfilled, it's not making you happy, if it's destroying your life, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so So much yes. Yeah. I think it's too like, you bring up a good point too there that even these people who we see and maybe young dancers who, aspire to be
Mm.
some of these principal dancers, you never know someone's personal struggles or, like the backstory. And it's just like that much more important to make sure that you're looking for the joy. And it's like not about abusing yourself to get to some level that you think is going to make you happy. It's about like finding the joy in dance where you are.
Yeah. Um, I think, you know, because I know so many, well, not so many, but because I have friends who are, professional dancers around the world, it's easy, especially in the age of social media, to like look at things and say, oh, their career progressed so fast, or they're
Mhm.
such a beautiful dancer, their life needs to be perfect. But, the thing is that dancers, they're kind of the same as everybody else. They're normal people. And,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, everybody has their struggles. Everybody's kind of a hot mess inside. It's easy to look great on social media because it's very curated. But yeah, you like that amazing, say, principal dancer at Marinsky or Royal or ABT has their own set of struggles as well, and struggles that you could probably relate to, you know. And
Absolutely.
I think it's very important for people to keep that in mind
Yeah.
because it's easy to look at somebody else's life and wonder why yours is so sucky compared to theirs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the social media, it's such a thing, and it definitely, I think, for young people, especially who have only really known life, being faced with all of this stuff, it's especially hard to like find the separation between like, okay, your life is where it is and their life is where it is. And comparing is not going to change anything or
Yeah,
improve.
and I do relate because yeah, when I was like recovering, especially because I was really depressed and like when you're anorexic, you feel really lonely, and then you're like, why is everybody else fine? And then
Mm,
you sort of have to come to the realization that no, everybody's not fine. We're just kind of trying to deal with life.
yeah.
You I love my job, but there are days when I don't want to do it.
All right.
And there are days where like my life is really sucky and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I just still want to go to work. It's normal. So
Totally.
like it's all normal. Like nobody's life is 100% amazing all the time.
Yeah. I totally agree. We have one hello from the viewers. Guys, anyone who's watching live, if you have any questions for Min, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll be sure to ask her.
Yeah,
But
ask
I
questions. I want
ask
to know
some
what you guys are
questions.
thinking.
Yeah. But I've got more. Let's see. Who have been some of your favorite dancers that you've done photo shoots or collaborations with?
Um, okay, I can't name a favorite because
Okay. Because you're
not
friends.
yeah, not just because of that, but because I think um every experience is different, but it's also special in some way. Whether it's and I think the most important thing is that yeah, I learned something with every experience and every shoot,
Yeah.
and the nicest thing is that when you work with friends and you get to kind of make magic with friends, but also um, sort of deepen your friendship and your relationship by virtue of the fact that most of my dancer friends are not in the same country as me. So when we get to work
Hmm.
together, it's a very special experience. Yeah, so like my friend Joy Womack, who I will always be grateful for because she was the first person who agreed to work with me.
Yeah.
Um, it's really easy to work with her because she uh, will just give like 150% to everything. Or um, Keenan Kampa as well. Like she was just so sweet. And I recently did a shoot with my friend Patricia Chow, who I wanted to work with for forever.
Yeah.
And it was just really great. Like I'm really excited for people to see the pictures, but also it was because it was just really nice to like spend time with her. And also there's always that feeling of I guess all when you watch your friends do what they're really
Mm,
good at doing,
absolutely.
it's quite something. And I'm like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like I can't believe like this is my life now.
Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, okay, so I have a question. You studied law,
Yeah.
but you're like the aesthetic and like the beauty of what you create and you know, obviously not just in your designs, but in like the photo shoots and everything, is that all just that just comes to you naturally? No design, no background in like design or like, you know.
Oh, I wish I did because I think that would have been very helpful. But no, a lot of my Photoshop skills, I kind of joke to my mom, this is all the stuff I picked up in high school instead of studying math.
I
That
love
kind of went from there. Like the only reason why I started Clan of Victory is because I knew I could do everything myself. I
it.
learned all this
Yeah.
nonsense in high school about like how to code web pages and design things, and
Yeah.
kind of went from there. I think um, I guess the humor just comes from the fact that I just like to make jokes. It's helped me get through a lot of really tough stuff in my life.
Yeah.
To And it's nice to make people laugh. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't come naturally. I have to say, like you have to think about it sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
tiring. For every like, um, say when I design a collection of shirts, like 50% of them get chucked because I'm like I don't like the idea.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it is a struggle when you don't feel inspired, but you gotta try and grind it out anyway, and hopefully you come up with something good.
Yeah. How do you deal with creative blocks?
It's hard. It's really hard. I will say that one of my insecurities with Cloud of Victory is that one day I'm gonna like run out of ideas.
Mm,
Um, so it's just always there's so much in ballet that I have that's always something new to learn about or discover or even like watch like a YouTube video about ballet, like a new ballet on YouTube or in a theater and learn about
yeah.
dancers. Like there's so much information out there, and I just kind of have to trust myself that um yeah that it will have that I will be able to think of something
Yeah.
or some things.
I think you will. It's like one of those things where you don't even realize where inspiration comes from. And then like, you're just like, oh, okay, here's something else that somewhere else I can go with this, like I find
Yeah,
walking outside is one of the times that I get ideas more than any other time.
yeah, for me, like I like walking my dogs and like jog once a week because when you're just alone with your ideas, it really helps to like clear your head.
Yes.
But yeah, I will say the other thing is also not, which is really hard, but not worrying about it because when you just fret about it, it just weighs on you, and sometimes you just need to clear
Absolutely.
your head and like get a break and give your brain a break, which is really hard. And then when you're feeling fresher, you kind of start from there. And I think that kind of goes with any job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Nice. What's your favorite shirt that you guys have out right now? Do you have a favorite?
I have a lot of favorites.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard for me.
The proverb one.
Yeah, the one that says in Chinese
Yes.
it's 天生苦好相识. So it's everything hurts and don't die, ancient dance proverb. Yeah. But it is very hard for me to choose a favorite because they're kind of all my
Yeah.
babies. So
I believe
that's
it.
a really
Yeah.
hard question. Yeah.
I have the dancer's body one, which I love. The
Yeah,
yeah.
I was really proud of that one because I thought that was really important. It was
Yeah.
interesting because that one came about because I was like talking to my friend Jeanette Kakareka. She used to dance at END and she dances at Stats Ballet. I'm not going to get the name right in Bayarishis or something now. I'm so sorry for mangling the name. But yeah, we were just talking about like body image struggles among dancers, about like being um disordered eating, and also the fact that because she's a naturally tall and very um uh lean dancer, that she also gets body shamed as well
Mm,
because people will think she's not taking care of herself or that
right.
she's
They
too
make
thin and people will
assumptions.
make fun of her.
Yeah.
And so we were talking and I said I should just make this shirt because it doesn't matter what body type you are, anybody can dance ballet. The most
Yeah.
important thing is that you're healthy. Like screw what everybody else thinks. And
Yeah.
so she was like, do it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I was
I love it.
yeah, so I thought that was actually I know it sounds trite because it's just a t-shirt, but I actually thought for me that was a really important shirt to have out.
I really think I agree, and I think uh, it's just like the message needs to be reinvigorated and like reiterated all the time, like it needs to be said over and over and over again because there's so much that's like deeply ingrained in dance that needs to be overcome, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because it's also the like I understand where it comes from. Like as a dancer, you're always trying to improve your line and especially because I think a lot of dancers I know, and I think this is why I relate to them a lot, is because they're perfectionists. And so you're always trying to improve your line, you're always trying to get better in some way. You think, oh, if I'm smaller, I look better. If I'm, maybe I will be able to jump more and everything. But the thing is that um, your perception is not necessarily reflective of reality. Which is to say,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm an audience member, and I try to tell my friends this, when I'm an audience member, I don't care what size you are on that stage. If you're dancing in a professional company for like what, 6, 10, how many hours a day, you're gonna have a pretty great body, first
Right.
of all. But second, as an audience member, I don't care if you're skinnier than the girl next to you. I care about how your dancing makes me feel. And that's
Absolutely.
it's why I go and watch a ballet. It's not to look at how beautifully turned out your feet are and whether or not you happen to be over your leg at some point, and like whether or not you're not over your leg at this Arab at some point. I go because I want to watch a performance and I want to be moved and I want to enjoy, you know, the beauty of what dancers are doing. And honestly, sometimes it's the opposite, where I see a dancer who looks on stage who looks, I don't know how to say this, but like when you've had an eating disorder, you can kind of tell when somebody is naturally thin and when it doesn't look so healthy. And sometimes when I look at girls who don't look so healthy on stage, it actually makes me worried and it's a bit distracting from the performance.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah, I understand why dancers worry, but I think it's good to sort of keep reminding yourself that what you think is not necessarily the reality of the situation.
Right. And I think that's something that would be a benefit if like, the ballet world at large thought a little bit more about the audience perspective and that most people in the audience, like you said, they are looking for dance that moves them and dancers that move them. And for most ballet audiences, it's not about who's the skinniest.
Yeah, it really isn't. And if there are those one or two people, then I'm sorry, but they're kind of dillweeds who don't understand and are not appreciating the performance for the right reasons.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, um, it's kind of hard because I understand like artistic directors also feel like they want to have like their preferences and their aesthetic, and there's nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, if that happens, then maybe that's not the right company for you to be in, because
Yeah.
what's the point of trying to fit into what, I guess, one, with all due respect to artistic directors, but like one person's opinion of what they think looks
Right.
good at the expense of your own health and well-being, because there are so many different ballet companies around the world, and if you are good enough to be a professional dancer, then there will be a company for you
Yes.
out there. That's what I mean. I know that's idealistic and it's obviously easier said than done, but that's what I think.
I think you're right. We're definitely in agreement on that. That's one of the things that I'm like, I know that this might not sound like the easiest advice, but if someone's asking you to do something that you can't healthfully do, then
Yeah,
maybe it's just not the right place to be.
yeah, and it's hard, especially when you're a dancer. I get it. It's hard to find employment. It's
Totally.
hard to leave. Change is hard in general, but you know, you could either stay and be miserable and potentially kill yourself trying to achieve something,
Yeah.
or you can try to like figure out how to make your life better. And I always tell my friends, and I try to remind myself as well, if nothing else, it will be a learning experience for you.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, it's not easy.
No, but I think, as you said, they're going to learn from it. Those are the things in life that, as hard and challenging as they can be really valuable.
Yeah, and I think that again, it's very hard to keep this in mind when you're actually going through the struggle. But in anything, I try to reframe like things where it's if you don't say if you're in this like hypothetical situation, like if you're in this company and for some reason it's not working out, it's not because you're a failure. It's just a learning experience. You learn more about yourself. You go
Yeah.
through it and then you get stronger and then you kind of you figure it out. Like with my job as well, I make mistakes and some things don't work out and I try to think of it not as failing but as an experience that
Mm-hmm.
has helped me grow in different ways. Like
Absolutely.
maybe one day this business, to be realistic, Cloud Victory might, knock on wood, hopefully not, but even one day I'm not doing this anymore, I can still look back and say, was not a waste of my life. This was something that helped me so much as a person and gave me new friends and gave me, knowledge about myself and what I can do and taught me so many things. So I think that's a
And
really important way to look
I
at
think
life.
also you'll have to add to that bucket, but let's not talk about Cloud and Victory ending. But you would definitely have to add to that, supported dancers in like a really beautiful and needed way. Um,
Thank you. It's
yeah,
really
like
nice to hear.
no, definitely don't discount that value because it's like, it really isn't just shirts. You're like the message and just like I said, like the wit and the levity, and it just like brings something really needed, I think, to the dance world. We had one comment too. Someone said lots of awesome wisdom. Love what you two are doing and sharing. Thank you. And she also said, love your
Oh, that's
shirts
so nice.
and all you're doing, Min. I also began ballet as an adult. It's so cool to hear your story. Love that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole reason why I started this company is because I want to do something positive for myself and other people. And I think, yeah, things like that's why the shirts, I make sure that they're ethically made and the content's organic because I just
Yes.
wanted it to be something that is as positive in the world as I can put out there. I don't necessarily feel like I'm a wise old granny, but I think just try to be very open and very honest with my experience because honestly I'm an introvert, so even like having to be put myself more out there in my for my work was very difficult, but then I sort of realized that it helps when you're open and you're authentic because I remember going through what I went through and feeling incredibly lonely because I felt like
Mm-hmm.
nobody else seemed to be going through the same thing. I would look up like depression recovery and anorexia recovery on blogs online, and I was like, everybody seems to be doing fine. Whereas I'm so tired that it literally hurts for me to get up from my seat.
Yeah.
And I just feel this guilt all the time. And so because of that, I think I started talking about it more because I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone with what they're struggling with. Because, you know, I've been through it and other people have been through it, and maybe some people are not comfortable talking about it. But um, I think my work gives me a platform to do good. And for me, I think that's kind of why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
that sounds cheesy, but yeah.
No, not at all. I think, we have similar, it's like, I don't create a product, it's a service, but it's a very similar goal as far as having that positive impact. Like, and I do think that when that's your goal, people do pay attention. And when you share authentically as well, like it does resonate with people. And I think that it's just not enough of that openness is happening in the dance world. I see little, like light here and there, and I think it's
Here and
coming
there, right?
more,
Yeah, but
but I
like
think it's needed.
I think people are still afraid to be vulnerable, which I kind of get because it's your
Yeah,
career. But
totally.
sometimes it's, but I also feel like And of course, you have to be smart about it. You don't share things that are completely inappropriate, you know.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes I think that if you're just a bit vulnerable and you let people in, then people kind of understand
Hmm.
what makes what you're going through as a dancer and what makes you the incredible, not just dancer, but the incredible person you are. And it helps people to appreciate your work more in a dancer when they can see, you know, that it didn't come effortlessly because it doesn't come effortlessly.
Right.
Like we all know how much work it takes to
Yes.
do it, to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I love that positive note to wrap things up on. I will say, you know, if anyone is new to you, if anyone here has not heard of Cloud and Victory, I would be very surprised at this point. But if you haven't, you can find Min on Instagram at Cloud and Victory. Online, it's just cloudandvictory.com, the website, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everything
Uh,
is just cloud and victory.
that's smart. And on Facebook as well, right? Facebook as
Yeah,
well. Any other
Facebook as
platforms
well.
we should find you?
Twitter is cloud and victory, but I'm not
Okay.
as active on Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
think
neither.
it's hard. It's hard
It is.
when you're juggling so many different
Yeah,
platforms.
there's a lot going
Yeah.
on. But thank you again so much, Min, for sharing your wisdom and insights. It's been a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure.
It's been lovely to talk to you. We've said we've been wanting to do something for a long time.
Yeah.
So fellow boss ladies doing all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks to everyone who's tuned in now and to anyone who watches later on. It's been really, really fun. And I hope you all
Yeah, I enjoyed
enjoyed.
myself.
Good. I hope everyone enjoyed hanging out with me and Min for a little bit.